Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, February the 19th, 2021. It is currently 11:47 a.m. Central Time, and I hope I'm on the air. I hope you can hear me. If you're listening to me live, feel free to jump in the chat, and I will look at it in a minute. Let me explain what's going on. If you've been watching the news, you know that Texas got hit with a major winter storm. Now, I had talked about the fact that they were predicting the polar vortex and the temperatures were going to get cold and we were going to get all of this snow. And I was somewhat mocking the forecast. I was very cynical. I didn't really believe it was going to occur. And, I'm currently, let me just say this. It happened. We got 14.8 inches of snow. Temperatures plummeted to, zero, maybe 0.1. I don't even remember how cold it ultimately got. With wind chilled, it was in the negative. And that was already bad enough. I mean, clearly that was going to shut everything down in this part of Texas. But then it all started. Power went out. And then we lost water. No power, no water. And, freezing temperatures, not a good mix. And in all seriousness, it got very serious for some people because a number of people have died as a result of all of this. They literally froze to death in their homes. So it's a very serious situation. But today, finally, I was able to get out of my driveway and make it back here to the church. So here is our current situation at my house. I've been very fortunate. I lost power some, but for the most part, I had power, and we did lose water for a while. But now we have water, we do have power, so things are going pretty good at my house. Considering other people went with power a lot longer than I did. So I was relatively fortunate with the power. The water is back on. We have to boil the water for any consumption of any kind. And we don't know how long that's going to continue. But I was really worried about what I was going to find when I got here to the church. And I am currently standing in the sanctuary of Victory Baptist Church. I went ahead and I'm using the wireless mic. And the reason I'm using the wireless mic is I was greatly concerned that the equipment, I don't know how long the power could have possibly been off here at the church. So I was greatly concerned that the equipment was going to be not in such good shape. So I'm using this to see how everything is going to sound and see if the wireless equipment works when I'm preaching sermons. So that seems to be working. We obviously have electricity. We have internet. We obviously, in fact, I'm making sure we still do. We have water. It doesn't look very good, but we have water, thankfully. Far as I know, no pipes have burst. I'm walking into the library, and everything looks fine here. I'm walking in the back hallway. Everything appears to be okay at the church. The only problem at the church right now is you can't get into our parking lot. It's piles of snow. I'm assuming if you have a normal car, if you pull in, you're not going to be able to pull out. The trucks that did do any plowing here, it looks like some trucks did drive through our parking lot. But yeah, right now you don't want to get into our parking lot. What I had to do is I used the car to try to push the snow. The trucks that were plowing the snow piled it up all against the door of our church. And I had to use the car to kind of push it out of the way. And hopefully I can get back out. So right now you can't, there's no way you could have people come here right now and try to get into the church. Today it's supposed to be, I heard 47. On the way here they said 43, 45, so I don't know. I'm hoping we can get to 47 degrees today, because if we can, then a lot of this will melt. And then we can return back to normal. But currently, everything seems, I'm pretty thankful considering what I was so fearful I was going to walk into this building and all the equipment was going to be messed up. Pipes have burst and there was going to be water everywhere. And I can say we are very grateful. We're very grateful for everything. Let me do something. Okay, I'm checking the speakers in the sanctuary to make sure they're working. Everything appears to be working. So we've made it. And we're grateful. We do have at least one family in the church that their pipes have burst, and that's not a good thing. So we're obviously going to do what we can to help them. I think everyone else appears to be doing at least as well as they can, considering the circumstances. We still have some people in the church who don't have water. Just if you want to pray, I mean, and let's make sure we understand this. This is not just a Texas situation. There have been people in a lot of states because of this winter storm have lost power. I don't know if any have lost water, but there's a lot of states that are dealing with similar things. But Texas really got hit hard. I know right now politicians are blaming each other and everyone's pointing the finger. And Ted Cruz, went to Mexico, and everyone's, and the windmills froze up, so everybody's blaming, the green energy. And everyone's blaming everyone. And I wish that what politicians would do is stop blaming and get to work. Stop blaming, stop pointing fingers, stop making excuses, figure out what happened, fix it, and then fix it so that it doesn't happen again. But in many cases, politicians act like children instead of leaders. It was something I used to always tell my troops when I was in the military. Don't come to me with a complaint, come to me with a solution. It's easy to come to me and say, I don't like this, and this isn't working, and this is dumb. You can complain all day. Come up with a solution. So, hopefully our politicians will figure out what happened. Everyone's going to be blaming everything, but let's just deal with reality. We're here in West Texas. We don't get this kind of weather. This is one of these once in a decade kind of situations that occur. And, you can spend millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars to prepare for something that may never happen. You can. And some people will say that would be foolish. Some people would say that would be wise. It's sad because obviously many people lost, not many. I don't know the total number, but people, it doesn't matter if it's 1, it doesn't matter if it's 10. People lost their lives as a result of this situation. So just pray for Texas. Pray that people get their water back. People can, the grocery stores, as far as I know, I think there's some of the grocery stores are just like there's nothing left to buy. Many of the grocery stores had to shut down because of no water and power. Major problems in some of the hospitals. Pipes busted, flooded parts of the hospital, no power, no water. So some of the hospitals are in bad situation. But I think slowly but surely the power has been restored to most of the people in this area. And water has been restored to most, not all, but to most. And hopefully by the end of the day, hopefully all of that can happen. We can get back to some kind of something resembling a normal. I don't know what we're going to do yet for Sunday. I may Sunday just do live streaming just to give everything a chance to get back to normal. Everyone, to take care of the situations they have to take care of their own homes, and then we'll get back to normal. And then as soon as possible. And it'll give me a chance to catch up on all the things I need to do since I haven't been able to do anything. So we will see. But I've gotten a number of emails from people asking what's going on, and that's the latest. The church is okay. So praise God for that. My house is doing pretty good. Praise God for that. We have at least, like I said, one family whose pipes have burst, and that's going to obviously be an expensive thing, so we're going to do what we can to help them. And we've got some families that, like I said, still don't have water, and obviously we'll see what they need and if there's anything we can do. But yeah, I'm just looking out the window at our parking lot going, wow, that's a lot of snow. So once the sun comes over the top of the building and it's on the other side, I think it will start melting relatively quick. I think it will. The roads are already doing pretty good. I got cars They're driving by slowly looking at us. They're looking at my car because where my car is, I pulled it as close to the front door as possible. I had to use it to get the snow out of the way. So, yes, I don't know what else to tell people. Thank you for your prayers. I'm going to do some live broadcasting here in a minute. I'm going to get everything set up. And I think we're still on the air. Yes, okay. Yes, we're still on the air. I'm just making sure everything is working correctly. Part of this is just to make sure that the equipment is working correctly, because I was greatly concerned that it was all going to be frozen, broken. I don't know what the correct word was. I was afraid that we were going to find ourselves in a mess. So that is the latest as far as I can tell. For those who emailed me, thank you. If I did not respond, I apologize, because sometimes I got ready to respond and then the power would go down and I couldn't because, well, I don't have a cell phone. So I just have my iPad and the laptop, and needed internet for those two things to work properly. So, but I tried to respond to those who I could. But thank you for checking, and we are fortunate. There's lots of people who were not near as fortunate as we were, and so pray for them, and just hope that people can get back to their homes. And it's just sad that people had to lose their lives in a situation like this. It's just sad. And what's horrible is sometimes you just have to look at what happened and you just have to go, why didn't they think about that? In Houston, Texas, horrible story. The mother and the daughter were freezing. I know that you're thinking, oh, you're in Texas, you don't know what cold is. You're right. I mean, there's some places where it gets -9, -10. I understand that. But we got down to 0, okay? And with wind chill, so I mean, this is not the time to say we get it worse. I understand that people get it worse. Just got to understand things are not built here for that kind of weather. Things are not built that way. It's not prepared for that. And so the people in their homes were literally, on the verge of freezing to death. So this mother takes her daughter, they go to her car to start the car so they can stay warm. And this is just, you think people would know this, but they turned on the car inside the garage. And they died of carbon monoxide poisoning. And you're like, what happened? And a lot of other people tried to do different things inside their own homes to warm themselves up, and ended up passing away because of carbon monoxide poisoning. So a lot of when people get desperate, sometimes they don't think about what they're doing. And one of the tragic things, I heard this on a couple of calls on my police scanner, is the fire department was called out to some houses that had caught on fire for whatever reasons. And they were not able to access water so they could put out the fire. And the houses burned down. And that's tragic because there was no water. And they were unable to do anything. And that didn't just happen here. That happened in a number of other places. I think an apartment complex burned down in one part of Texas because of, again, the fire department arrived, but no water. And that's how bad the situation got. So that's the latest. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to hook all the equipment back up the normal way, and then we're going to start some live broadcasting this afternoon, and see if we can talk about some important issues that we need to get to. And I just wanted to give everyone kind of an update of what's going on. I didn't want to do this at the beginning of an episode because it would take 10, 15 minutes of time. And some people hate that. They're like, hey, if you're going to do an episode, just get to the point. Don't do any long introductions about stuff. So, and I wanted to test it with the wireless microphone. So that is the latest here from Ovalo, Texas, not far from Abilene, Texas. That is our situation. The high today is supposed to be in the 40s. I think tomorrow, I'd have to look. I think tomorrow may be the day they said was going to get possibly back up to the 60s. I hope that is the case. But other parts of Texas, I don't know. I mean, Texas is a big state, so you got different places that will experience different things. But just pray that everywhere that the temperature can get above freezing, all across the state of Texas, and that water can be restored, electricity can be restored. People can start doing what they need to get their homes fixed, and people's lives can get back to some level of normalcy. Please pray for the family members who lost loved ones during this horrible winter storm. And there's going to be lots of political fallout from this. A lot of people are going to be blamed. I'm assuming some people will possibly lose their jobs, and it's going to be ugly. I just wish, instead of pointing fingers and just finding basically a lamb to sacrifice, finding a sacrificial lamb, instead of that, I would hope that we could just come up with solutions and figure out what we can do in the future to be prepared for this. And I'm currently looking outside the window. There was a bunch of cars that were stopped, and I didn't know if they needed something. So that's the situation here from Ovalo, Texas. I'll be back on the air here shortly. Thank you for listening to this report. And if you have any questions, you can always email me at newsif@yahoo.com, newsif@yahoo.com. I currently have internet here, so I will check my email before I go live here in just a minute after I remove all the equipment and get everything set up. All right, God bless.